When you think about minor league baseball in a city, you don't necessarily think about sustainability, but in Tacoma we've managed to pull that off. What was once a large surface parking lot has now become something that has tree canopies, is pedestrian friendly, and also environmentally safe as well. And because we've used permeable pavement, the stormwater actually runs into it and then is discharged into the Foss waterway in a much more responsible way.
The Flet watershed covers 7,200 acres in Tacoma, and it drains to Flet Creek. It's a creek, and so capacity for stormwater during intense storms is necessarily limited. The city is focused in this particular watershed with reducing the flows to that creek, and so projects that reduce the flows, infiltrate the stormwater are imperative for us to develop and implement on the ground. This Cheney Stadium project is one of our most ambitious. It's a two-phase project. 20 acres are involved, and you can understand that 20 acres out of 7,200 is not a huge amount, but it is a start, and I think the value of this project is really in the demonstration nature of it, showing exactly what can be done on a site such as this. It's high use, it's parking areas. The infiltration rates are low, the soils are tight. The project was built in the baseball off-season. It was built two winters in the Pacific Northwest. Permeable surfaces, which I think is quite remarkable.
Well, this project, when we started our geotechnical investigation, we determined that we had soils that were very tight and very poor infiltration, and some folks said that that was infeasible, but we worked closely with our geotechnical staff to come up with a design that was going to work, and we followed it all the way through construction, through the rainy season, which is also not something that's recommended, but with a little extra care, it can be done. It was a big partnership. This road, we had some funding from Public Works for the improvements to the sidewalk and a couple other things. We got a grant for the electric car charging stations and a rebate for the power. On the parking lot itself, we got a $1 million grant from the Department of Ecology. And also the Rainiers partnered for a couple other the amenities too, like the entrance gate and the picket fence. Phase 2 was our fourth pervious pavement project, and at that point, we were starting to feel pretty confident that we were getting pretty close, and out of nowhere, the rock that they brought in was, it wasn't strong enough. It was degrading, actually, as they were running their trucks over, it was disintegrating. And so we had to go back and look at our specs and actually change it. The LID manual says to use washout spec, and it's not enough. Those roads and those specs are for standard roads that don't allow the water to go through. But when the materials are exposed to water, it's a different animal. You need to think about it holistically.
So once again, we were able to partner with both the state and our public utility to do something that was very, very environmentally responsible. So working with the Department of Ecology as well as our own public utility, we're able to put together the funds to do something like this. And once again, this will reap long-term benefits by being sustainable, but also by saving costs. I think what's really interesting about Tacoma is the way that we've evolved from a very, very hardcore industrial city to one that absolutely respects industry, but also is now very sustainable as well. So it's really interesting what Tacoma has done is that we're able to balance both. We can be both environmentally friendly, but also respect our industrial history and have industry here as well as good sustainability.